Hello everyone, and now welcome to a 2v2 matchup. RazerMoon and BlOoDy going up against Teddster and Changer. Alright, let's go ahead and break things down in this 2v2 matchup, and things look a little bit weird. Alright, let's go ahead and break things down here. We see RazerMoon spawning as the purple Night Elf, meanwhile his partner BlOoDy spawning as the purple Undead. They're going to be going up against Teddster and Changer. Teddster spawning under the name Free Hugs as the red orc, and then finally Changer spawning as the red human. Human orc versus, well, Night Elf and Undead, all four races presented here for you as Changer opening things up with, well, that Paladin build. Alright, so Paladin Rifleman build coming across from Changer. It looks as though this is a standard build coming across from Teddster, getting that Barracks down and Altar of Storms all on that typical timing. And then once the altars are done, we can start making predictions on the heroes and the type of direction that players will be traveling. One of the things I really like about WarCraft 3 is the idea of heroes, where they are very, very powerful units out on the battlefield. But not only are they powerful, they kind of dictate strategy during the opening segments. You can see that this Altar of Darkness, this Ziggurat, perhaps a little bit later than normal, getting that crypt down faster, did delay that Death Knight getting trained up. Meanwhile, Keeper of the Grove is already 2/3 of the way done. Coming back around here, and it feels like someone changed my chair again. Not quite sure what's that about. Meanwhile, Blade Master now getting trained up back over here. So Blade Master and a Paladin getting trained up by the human orc combination. Meanwhile, Death Knight and Keeper of the Grove coming across from RazerMoon and BlOoDy. Ancient of War absorbing quite a bit of damage. You can see these burning archers deal significant damage. Those searing arrows, well, are really, really powerful. And now, even with the Ancient of War repairing and, well, double repairing and eating trees here, is taking far, far too much damage. Keeper of the Grove coming across here, trying to finish off the remainder of this creep camp. And this orange creep camp really racking up here, and perhaps RazerMoon not used to this particular map here on Phantom Grove, not realizing the dangers of burning archer arrows. Skeletal archers, giant skeleton warrior, Blade Master nearby waiting to, well, do a surprise strike against that skeletal warrior right there, and the Blade Master does pick up the Gauntlets of Ogre Strength +3. Grunt could be in a little bit worse for wear as the Blade Master now looks to back away again. Meanwhile, Keeper of the Grove already sitting at level 2, now going after this green creep camp here. The other creep camp was just an orange creep camp that gave level 2. It was really just the damage output from those searing arrows that was rather unexpected for that Ancient of War. Ancient of War nearly taken out, even with that double repair as mentioned. Meanwhile, Blade Master testing the waters on the front, does have a Scroll of Town Portal, did not sell it yet. Voodoo Lounge just now getting placed down here. Meanwhile, Riflemen are getting added across. Paladin does have that Holy Light already, allowing those Riflemen to heal up nicely, as Militia are now being called over into this, well, shared expansion location, relatively, well, in your neck of the woods, your neighborhood. You're not exposing yourself too much. Meanwhile, Paladin going to be picking up Claws of Attack +5 in a moment. Meanwhile, Keeper of the Grove continuing to clear out some creep camps. That is a Claws of Attack +5. Ignore that +4 that's sitting right there. Coming through, the Blade Master is still sitting at level 1. He wants to do a little bit of creeping, and he's actually going to start creeping out his opponent's green creep camps. Creeps are a resource that need to be maintained, and if you're able to, well, take down your creeps or take down your opponent's creeps, your opponent has less creeps to try and level up later heroes. Paladin sitting at 2.5 here, as everyone is pretty much clearing out all of these creep camps now. Burning archers with that searing arrow. You can see even with piercing damage against the Death Knight, that heroic type here, it is difficult to take down these burning archers, especially with their heavy armor type early on. They do not take bonus damage from these normal attacking units at all, and now all of those other units being forced to retreat back. Death Knight gonna finish off this burning archer here, and one thing to note, that the burning archers are technically undead units, meaning that the Death Knight cannot death coil to speed up and finish them off either. Death Knight does get a Death Coil off on a low hit point ghoul. Blade Master going to do a quick swap around as both sides are pretty much playing their own specific game. Militia now going to get called to arms and retreat back here. The tech to tier 2 nearly done. More riflemen getting trained up as the Paladin does sit at level 3 with level 2 Holy Light. Are we perhaps going to look at a shop getting cleared out now? It looks to be the case that Icy Revenant going to be a problem as those burning archers are now making their way over. The searing arrows actually going to reduce the amount of damage that it does against all of these riflemen here. There's a chain lightning bouncing around, and this is actually a little bit of a benefit as the Paladin goes a Holy Light against the Lightning Revenant. I forgot that he was an undead unit. All right, being able to get that little bit of additional burst damage to finish off that high level creep. We're going to see a Ring of Superiority that was quickly shot. Could have sold an item and then, or dropped an item, sold that Ring of Superiority since he was so close to that Goblin Merchant shop. Perhaps didn't want to go to the pawn shop and pawn off that ring. Meanwhile, Paladin now making his rounds as well. Death Knight sitting at level 2. We're looking at the Blade Master and Shadow Hunter coming off from the north here as the Naga Sea Witch has been trained up. Blade Master wants perhaps that skeletal minion, but doesn't want to engage against all of these other units here as we are looking at the Paladin now leading the charge. All right, one assassin has completely shadow melded here as the Paladin could be in a little bit of trouble. He needs to try and break free. There's a healing wave bouncing around, and that Shadow Hunter are going to be able to keep that Paladin alive as the, well, assassin quickly gets revealed by that Dust of Appearance. Shadow Hunter needs to get another heal off on that Paladin. Paladin does have a healing salve though. Healing wave still bouncing around as both sides are going to engage. Paladin trying to hang back in the back here. Additional armor across the entire red army. Meanwhile, the red army is just pushing in with a, well, surprisingly strong push. That devotion aura coupled with that scroll of the beast giving 25% damage bonus as well. All right, making their way across here. Perhaps going to finish off, well, Crypt Fiend down. Paladin gets up to level 4, level 2 Devotion Aura. Now we're looking at +4 additional armor. Well, we're also looking at the Blood Mage joining in on the fight. And with the Paladin, with a decent amount of mana, that Blade Master is pretty much going to be unstoppable, especially with 13 armor at level 3. This has been going to be a bloody bath here. RazerMoon and BlOoDy need to figure out a way to stop this very strong push as the Scroll of the Beast has come to an end, but that the additional +4 armor going to cause problems as the Blood Mage now drains out mana from that Death Knight. All right. Mana on the Paladin, mana on the Shadow Hunter means that this push could pretty much last forever and a day as both sides are still fighting their way through. What are we looking at across the other sides of the map? Well, Keeper of the Grove going to go ahead and try and Scroll of Town Portal back to rejoin in on the battle here. Low hit point Grunt, is it going to get saved? No, it is not. No 400 hit point heal there as some archers could easily get picked off there. One archer down. A second archer does get shot in the back, trying to retreat back away as both sides are fighting through. Death Knight and Lich both relatively low on mana. Raiders now joining in on the battle, and BlOoDy is going to have a, well, bloody difficult time keeping all of his buildings alive as we are now seeing siege units being introduced as well. Inbound, there comes some Mountain Giants, Keeper of the Grove, Naga Sea Witch ready for this push, and the Mountain Giants are just what the doctor ordered. 1,600 hit point units with medium armor, reduced damage. Well, reduced damage from, from siege attacks and piercing, exactly what the red army is bringing over. All right, 1 or 2 rounds of attack there. Paladin still getting some pretty much free experience. Raiders are still making their way over, and it feels like red should just be able to figure out a way to continue this onslaught. All right, Rifleman continuing to lob attacks here. Lich does have decent amount of mana. We're perhaps going to see a Holy Light on that low hit point Rifleman. Where is the Paladin? Paladin is also low on mana as well. Blood Mage should be funneling back into that Paladin so that there's just more mana to drain and more mana to go around. It feels like red is just respecting the undead base a bit too much, afraid of that Black Citadel and that Nerubian Tower, even though they have some range units to try and fight. Force an engagement, they should. Paladin now going to get some drain mana back in the other way, and here we are, here we go. RazerMoon and BlOoDy able to push across here. There's a Death Coil for the save. Are we going to see that Crypt Fiend get taken down? No, we are not. There go a couple of ensnares down as well, as we see a Frost Nova go down onto that Paladin. Paladin needs a healing wave. Healing wave, however, across all of those grunts down in the frontline spot. Are we going to see a Holy Light? No, no Holy Light to save the Shadow Hunter, and now with the Shadow Hunter gone, the Paladin could be in trouble. All right, it feels like the wheels of this push have fallen off, and then now RazerMoon and BlOoDy able to hold on, as well. I feel Teddster and Changer just gave his opponent just too much time to get into a proper position and engage how they wanted. If you force the engagement, right, if you're able to force the engagement, force those units a little bit out of position, that would have been better. Instead, the purple team able to gather their units, compose themselves, and then make up for a proper strong counter push. Or a strong hold, and now force a counter push. Blood Mage sitting at level 2. We should be looking at some Siphon mana. Blood Mage or Paladin is right there. Going to go ahead and transfer some items around. Potion of Lesser Invulnerability. Paladin now the one with a Mana Stone, as well as the Sentry Wards dropped by that Ogre Magi. Sentry Wards placing down to get a little bit of insight as well. Blood Mage now making its way across here. The Void Walker could get cleaned up here. There goes a Chain Lightning bouncing around, and you should be looking at a lot of, Holy Light, or at least some drain mana from that Greater Void Walker, as we now see Night Elf coming across here. With some Mountain Giants pushing across here. This could potentially be a problem. There is a Scroll of Town Portal. There goes Entangle, trying to save those units, unable to do exactly that, as RazerMoon cleans up the remainder of this creep camp here. All right, Red has cleared out this location and now setting up a Great Hall. Meanwhile, RazerMoon has already gotten this expo up and running, and it's been running for the past 5 minutes, getting 3,000 gold out of that gold mine already. 12 minutes, 22 seconds in. Sorry, difficult to see purple on the mini-map sometimes. Maybe it should, yeah. Yep, purple on an ice mini map, especially with undead. You can see that blight also down as well. Keeper the Grove, Treants, Mountain Giants on the move. RazerMoon perhaps surprising Teddster and Changer with so many Mountain Giants at this early stage of the game. All right, Blade Master now going to go ahead and try to go after BlOoDy's Crypt Fiends. Crypt Fiend now has Frost Armor, and we see some Icy Blast going back the other way. Tactical Retreat now in order. Meanwhile, Blood Mage and Paladin trying to come across here, perhaps find where RazerMoon is and put pressure while they are clearing out these creep camps. Treants are now coming off of the tree line here. Staff of Preservation, means that these Mountain Giants, even if they get lose 1,200 hit points, are just going to get Staff of Preservation back home, as the Blood Mage, get in some banishes onto the Mountain Giants to just neutralize them from the fight completely. Both sides fighting their way through. Fork Lightning, however, not enough. Treant gets taken down. Meanwhile, back across off to the north here, clearing out some difficult creep camps. Blade Master is nearby. Do we see a Scroll of Town Portal still? Yes, we do. Blade Master may be forced to use the Scroll of Town Portal as the Shadow Hunter gets taken out again. Ankh of Reincarnation will bring him back into the fight temporarily, but at only 500 hit points, he may be in a little bit of trouble. Healing Wave. Obsidian Statue's now getting taken down. Both sides exchanging blows back and forth. Tactical Retreat now. Shadow Hunter, Scroll of Town Portal in order to get away. The Berserker ends up falling at the hands of the Death Knight, as the Blade Master unable to get that final killing blow. Expo of Teddster about to be established here, And with that, both sides are going to be running on 3 bases, while BlOoDy is going to be trying to set up an expo of his own. Obsidian statue in the back. This could get shot down very quickly. 1 or 2 shots as we're looking at that obsidian statue down to 60 hit points. It is retreating all the way quickly and will end up being able to back away. Meanwhile, mortar teams have joined in on the battle here. Paladin will get to level 5. Rifleman now sitting at, well, 2-1 upgrades. There's level 5. Are we going for level 3 Devotion Aura or level 3, I gotta believe level 3 Holy Light, as the Paladin wants to be able to keep that Shadow Hunter alive as well. This expo at the 1 o'clock location should get cleaned up before it even gets or canceled pretty quickly. Meanwhile, are we perhaps going to be looking at a couple of armies ready to fight? There is a Blade Master. Blade Master, there is a BlOoDy with the Sentry Ward keeping track of that Blade Master now. The Blade Master down to 533 hit points. Mortar teams are going to be putting in pressure, and now with the mortar team range, may be able to press the issue before BlOoDy is able to fight back with RazerMoon. Positioning is going to be key here, and we are now looking at a Healing Wave trying to keep that Blade Master alive. Blade Master currently invulnerable, now trying to do a tactical retreat back, and now with all of these units coming back around, taking down the Black Citadel, not as important as mining is still happening, since it is just, well, the main tech building here. I do not know if Destroyer form was already upgraded, but there will be a delay in trying to get additional upgrades. No, not even a delay in additional upgrades, as upgrades haven't even been started yet. Blade Master exchanging blows against a Druid of the Claw. Druid of the Claw may win out on this fight here, down to 36 hit points, down to 7 hit points. Wow, talk about a lucky break there. There's a Healing Wave as the Druid of the Claw continuing to swipe away at this peon. Both sides fighting. There's a big roar there. Blade Master down to 142 hit points. He's trying to retreat back. Meanwhile, the main army now trying to perhaps take down the Tree of Eternity. There is 2 mortar teams with Inner Fire dealing big damage, but it's not going to be enough, as we now see the undead land right in the midst of all of this fighting. All right, Death Knight losing quite a bit of mana. There goes 1 obsidian statue. A second obsidian statue could get taken down quickly. There's a couple of low crypt fiends, and that is just an absolute bloody mess, as mortar teams are still able to get in a bunch of lob attacks here. Are we going to see another Holy Light perhaps finish off the Dark Ranger? Dark Ranger down to 156 hit points. I believe the Paladin could have finished him off, or her off, but does not do so. Scroll of Town Portal, Mountain Giants now landing up on top of all of these units. Tactical retreat now coming back again. There's a Fork Lightning. Mortar team number 1 was taken down, but the other 2 were able to retreat back, or maybe other 3 were able to retreat back. Changer sitting at 55 over 70, and, well, we're looking at Teddster coming across with this hit and run tactics again. Tree of Life trying to be built, but Militia quickly called over to take down this Tree of Life before it gets started. Meanwhile, RazerMoon forced to use a Scroll of Town Portal once more, as the Blade Master down to 100 and, well, down to 19 hit points. He gets taken out. The Sentry Ward, well, absolutely worth it to keep track of that Blade Master as it falls at level 4. All right, Tree of Life here going to get taken out here. There's a Siphon Mana. Both sides are going to engage. There's a Death Coil, Frost Nova, Holy Light onto the Blood Mage, as both sides are fighting again. All right, couple of lob attacks there. Not going to quite make it. Paladin finds the Holy Light trigger against the Crypt Fiend and blasts it down once more. Devotion Aura on the Blood Mage doesn't really make much sense when the Paladin is already bringing a better variety to the fight. Meanwhile, Priestess of the Moon out on the battlefield with True Shot Aura and Owl Scouts, able to keep track of where all of these units are, and also adding in an Orb of Corruption. All right, so negative armor. There's a quick dispel. There's a Holy Light. There's a Forked Lightning, exchanging those blows. Siphon Mana, not quite sure if that's exactly what they wanted. No, wanted to banish, not Siphon Mana, as we see a Holy Light keeping that priest alive again. All right, Mountain Giants do finish off a 1 rifleman in the back again. Level 5 now on that Keeper of the Grove as the fights are getting underway. Meanwhile, in the base off to the top left, while trying to exchange blows again and again, Orc forced to retreat back as Teddster, well, as as Changer realizing that this army of riflemen, would probably be better against the undead army, but now being forced to, go up against all of these mountain giants. Mortar teams could be able to lob attacks against those dryads in the back. Tactical retreat paladin, or tactical repositioning, gonna go ahead and teleport back there. One rifleman, however, a split second late, as Teddster now going to go ahead and Scroll of Town Portal into this fight as well. All right, here we are. Here we go. Tactical retreat again. And I have lost count the number of Scrolls of Town Portals, Scroll of Town Portal we've seen in this match. Economically speaking, peons are trying to repair this great hall. Meanwhile, Mountain Giant absolutely giving a beating, and you can see that the building is able to deal back quite a bit of damage because of those spiked barricades. Mountain Giant nearly taking out, mass repairs underway. We're looking at BlOoDy setting up the 11 o'clock expansion location. Main bases are starting to mine out, and the Expos still have a little bit left in the tank still. Human able to start mining this what I'll call 5 o'clock Expo location. Army of Human Changer now needs a charge down on here because of these Mountain Giants with 2/2 upgrades and siege damage, able to deal some significant damage against this building. All right, 4 Mountain Giants, all with those siege clubs, about to finish off this town hall. Meanwhile, peasants just trying to collect as much gold as possible before it gets taken out. Off to the north here, Raiders able to finish off the haunted gold mine and now finish off this acolyte, as the Mountain Giants are once again going to move on in. Adding in a couple of farms here, not going to be enough, as the Raiders are now trying to engage against the Crypt Fiends. All right, there goes a Deathquell Frost Nova against the Shadowhunter. Shadowhunter trying to retreat all the way back. There's an ensnare, and he is silenced. There's a healing wave bouncing around, but that's not going to work out well, as Teddster loses that level 3 Shadowhunter, giving a double level up to that Lich and that Dark Ranger. All right, this hit and run tactics are starting to fall apart here. Tauren totems trying to be established for Tauren for that pulverize, as the Raiders are just simply not doing enough. Meanwhile, mortar teams finding RazerMoon's Expo. That one Tree of Life will get taken down in no time flat. Blood Mage gonna stay at level 3, I believe, as all these wisps are simply gonna detonate. Expo here at the 2 o'clock location gonna get taken down. And I gotta say, BlOoDy and RazerMoon have been doing a great job of fighting together for all of these pushes. All right, another round of buildings gonna easily be finished off here. 1 round, a 2 round, and a 3rd round from the mortar teams not even needed, as the Knights getting the job done. All right, all of the mining pretty much has come to an end. All main bases are pretty much in the process of running out of gold or completely out of gold, as an Ancient of Wind about to get taken down. All right, Blood Mage, are we going to see some more banishes? Another Rifleman getting taken out, as we're looking at 72 supply over 60, 44 over 60, going up against 30 over 60, and 59 over 88. RazerMoon and BlOoDy have a slight supply advantage, and once this Priestess of the Moon gets to level 3, we'll have the hero level advantage, as it will also be a double level up for that Naga Sea Witch too. That's going to be a lot of damage, and look at this, plus 34 damage from that Naga Sea Witch between Roar, True Shot Aura, and all of these items. So pretty much getting a critical strike every attack. Death Knight now leading the charge here. This base here by Changer pretty much not worth saving. Yeah, pretty much not worth saving if you can try to do perhaps a split attack, but this is not working out well. Knights trying to retreat back here, Militia trying to stick around in this fight, but this is just continuing to feed more and more experience to the undead. All right, Orc and Human Army trying to come over to offer a bit of protection. Scroll of Town Portal now underway, as RazerMoon now perhaps going to start putting pressure onto the main base of Teddster. Druids of the Claw, Mountain Giants getting ready to engage here. Both sides fighting their way through. Voodoo Lounge quickly, the first building to be taken down here. Now going after these remaining buildings, the fortress, and this could turn into a base race scenario. Tree of Life already uprooted here, trying to perhaps entangle that gold mine if it got close enough. There is the Tree of Eternity attempting to entangle this gold mine as well. And RazerMoon and BlOoDy should be able to just sit back and win with the economic advantage. But suddenly, all of these Taurens by Teddster, they were kind of saved up here. And with the backline support in a Rifleman, at Priest, and all of these other units may actually have enough damage output. 3 Tauren now making their way onto the battlefield, making their presence known as all of these units look to retreat back out. There goes another burrow, spiked barricades, not able to finish off that other bear in time. Peon doing some scouting here, scouts this out. We're looking at a Tree of Life, needing to get more gold, and RazerMoon going to be operating off of 3 bases here, kind of just carrying his team, winning economically and into this late game. BlOoDy, on the other hand, is running around the map, just constantly trying to be annoying, putting pressure everywhere, and that may be enough. We're looking at the Paladin Blade Master combination running over here against RazerMoon's Center Expo. This will easily be cleared up, but the other two, these other gold mines are still mining pretty regularly, as we see a couple of flares, meaning, red team knows exactly where his opponent mining operations are. Couple of detonations does hit one unlucky priest there, as the undead sitting inside a Changer's base trying to take down this building. Holy Light, no animal war training. Knights looking to take down this Tree of Eternity. 69 over 70 supply. This could turn into an awkward 2v1 fight or a 2v2 fight as they're getting ready to engage. All right, Tauren down to already 1,000 hit points. Now taking an Entangle, Frost Nova, Death Coil, Holy Light, Healing Wave. That Tauren pretty much taking everything all in stride here, as that Tauren may be forced to try and retreat back. Inner Fire, is he going to be able to stay alive? Druid of the Claw getting taken out. Both sides still pressuring through. Mortar teams lobbing in more attacks. BlOoDy bringing in ghouls and obsidian statues into this fight here, as the Taurens are somehow able to stay alive. There is another round of Healing Wave bouncing across multiple targets, but the Mountain Giants do not seem to be in trouble. Siphon Mana, Blood Mage actually got in a couple of banishes, needs to siphon mana more away from all of these units, as the obsidian statues are still getting taken down. More Holy Lights are necessary, as the Paladin is sitting at level 5, perhaps trying to wait for level 6. If he gets to level 6 here, that would be a huge jump, as it would be Resurrection, and then all of a sudden these Taurens, any Taurens and any Knights that fell would come back alive. Are we going to see a level 6 Paladin? No, we are not. Still 35 experience shy. The Mountain Giants are currently banished out of the fight here. Blade Master able to escape away at 2 hit points and still hold on ever so barely. Staff of Preservation saves a low hit point Priestess of the Moon. Both sides are still fighting here. All right, is Red going to be able to get to level 6 on that Paladin? That is going to be the key question. Paladin now currently getting some siphon mana back in to all of this action here, as mortar teams are trying to finish off some units. Paladin needs 20 more experience to get there. Mountain Giant about to fall. Paladin has plenty of mana. We're just simply waiting for it. Now there's another Staff of Preservation. No level up for that Paladin, who still needs a little bit more. That Mountain Giant trying to hide in the back. Obsidian statues should just get shot down. Are we going to see the Crypt Fiend get taken down? Trying to Holy Light. Now the Paladin 5 experience away, and just trying to finish off some of these units again. All right, it seems like the Blood Mage has fallen at level 4, and being able to stave off the Paladin from getting that last bit of experience was the tipping point. Suddenly, BlOoDy and RazerMoon able to get enough in the tank going. Are we going to see, there's level 6, are we going to see the Resurrection? No, we are not. Ultimately, the Paladin does get to level 6, but too little, too late, as that is the game. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. The Staff of Preservation saving mountain giants, moving them off to the side. Lack of focus fire to take down an obsidian statue. This game could have been in the hands of Teddster and Changer, but instead RazerMoon and BlOoDy able to outlast their opponents. Let me know what you guys thought about this game in the comments below.